Hey guys, today we're going to talk about what's the best bang for your buck modification you can do to your Dodge Viper. And you can put this on any vehicle really, it doesn't matter if it's a Viper, it could be any car. But why do I feel that this particular modification is the best? First of all, let's talk about some of the ones that aren't the best. You know, the people that buy a modification part aftermarket, let's say it's Hooker or Bellinger or, you know, Corsa, Borla, it doesn't matter, and they put these stickers on the side of the vehicle. I call that the appearance modification. And while the appearance looks like your car is faster, and yes, you spent some money to get these stickers, for most part, you're basically doing free advertisement for a company that's not paying you for the advertisement. So you get basically letting another brand advertise on your vehicle for free, and your car is now a moving billboard. So for me, it adds no performance, it adds nothing to the vehicle, and unless your car is on a drag strip, it looks silly. Next one is the large wings. You know, I have a Hennessy Viper outside that's a 650R that now has twin turbos on there. That vehicle is badass. And while, yes, it has a large wing, it's there for function, and that vehicle does 215 miles per hour. Now this vehicle here, the RT10, well, it looks silly with these large wings. Now the best wing that you can put on an RT10 is a Hennessy style wing, but all these other wings that you see that people are adding to these vehicles, they look stupid. I tell you, I have yet to find a wing that is large that looks good on an RT10. Now Mopar did make a factory spoiler that actually looks good on the RT10s, but other than that, I haven't found one that I can actually look at and say I absolutely love it and I want one on my vehicle. Hopefully I do, but you know what? Right now, I think large wings, they add drag and they don't really do anything for the vehicle as far as performance. So for me, a large wing looks good on the GTS, looks good on a lot of cars, but it's not the best performance unless you're actually taking it on the track. Let's talk about the next one, the twin turbos. Yes guys, I just talked about the Hennessy being a twin turbo vehicle now. Adding twin turbos to a vehicle like this RT10 here, while yes, it will add a lot of horsepower, yes, it will sound good, but guys, it's very, very expensive. And far as the performance aspect, is it the best bang for your buck? Well, when you think about all the things that has to be done with it, it gets very expensive, and that's where the twin turbo setup, in my opinion, falls short. I can also say the same thing for a supercharger. Well, I think if I ever did a modification like that, it would be a supercharger on this vehicle. I absolutely love the whine of a supercharger. So for me personally, if I ever did one, it would be a supercharger on this vehicle versus a twin turbo setup. But again, very expensive to do, and the cost aspect just to me isn't there. So yes, it will be much faster, but this car is already fast enough as it is. 193 miles per hour from the factory. It is very, very quick. And yes, guys, for people that want to sit here and say, well, Dodge advertised at 185 miles per hour. In the May issue of Motor Trend in 1998, they tested these vehicles and they did 193 miles per hour. So yes, guys, the Dodge Viper truly was a faster car than 185 miles per hour. Now, the very first modification I did to this vehicle was a green filter. Now, why did I do that? Well, it wasn't because it added a little bit of horsepower and increased the torque a little bit. It was so I didn't have to replace the paper filters that these cars come with. Now, again, I don't replace them very often, but you know, every 2 to 3 years having to take it apart and put this on, it was a pain in the ass, and trying to find them can be kind of difficult. So buying a green filter on this vehicle was awesome. Cold air intake, it just improves the throttle response, gives it a little horsepower, but because of how little it actually does, it wasn't the best bang for your buck car. But I tell you what though, if you're looking for one, definitely look into the green filters, or you can look at Kane, and it doesn't matter. But I really advocate for the green filters. I absolutely love them. I had them on my Corvettes, and I have them on the Viper as well. So if it wasn't the filters, if it wasn't the supercharger, not the turbo, it's not the large wing, and definitely not the stickers, what is the best bang for your buck modification? Let's dive into it right here. First of all, this car here has stock headers, okay? I thought about changing the headers, but they are very expensive, so I kept them in stock. I did do a cat delete on this vehicle, so now this car is catless. I absolutely love that fact that it's a catless delete. It has a Borla off-road racing system with a muffler delete on here, so I absolutely love the sound. Now, just like anything else, there are cons. What are the cons with this vehicle? Every once in a while, you will get a check engine light on this vehicle. Today was a day a check engine light came on. So let's take a look at it. So as you guys can see, it happens. That's the second check engine light I have got. I've had the exhaust on this car now for a year, so about every 6 months is on average is when I'm getting a check engine light, and it's normally when it's cold outside. So today it was in the 40s when I started the car up, drove it maybe 5 miles, and yes, the check engine light came on. So naturally, I think it's more when it's cold versus when it's hot, but there is a $10 to $15 permanent fix versus just resetting it with my OBD2 reader, and that is a defouler, which you can actually do on these vehicles, and it will eliminate the check engine lights. Now the number 2 issue is the smell. This car stinks a lot. I know have a lot of people before I did it told me, well, you know, there's not much difference from what the OEM is versus the catless delete, and they were all wrong. It stinks so bad. It's a horrible smell, and it doesn't matter when you're driving, it's not that big of a deal, but when you get stopped to a stoplight, or like right now, I've driven this car, it's been in the garage now for about 3 to 4 hours, and it still smells. I can taste it in my mouth, and I have the garage being vented as well right now, and it still stinks. So guys, if you're sensitive, or if you don't want that, you know, exhaust smell or having that taste in your mouth, a cat delete may not be the right thing for you. But there's one other reason why there's an issue with the cat delete. Number 3 is it's completely illegal in all the states. Now with that being said, there are states that is very loosely illegal, and I live in one of those states, that's the state of Florida. Well, yes, it is a $10,000 fine here in Florida. The chances of DOT pulling me over, having me pull off the seals to see if there's a cat delete done is probably slim to none. Now in some other cases, there is other issues because they do use the mirrors and they will go underneath your vehicle to see if you have a cat delete done. But with the Viper, it's actually ran through the body. So there's absolutely no way for the DOT to actually see there's a cat delete unless they have you pull off the seals. The likelihood of them doing that is, well, like I said, very, very slim. Now you do have other states that will have emissions and other things that you have to go through. And if that happens, yes guys, you may want to actually do a high flow cat versus a cat delete. But again, every state's different, and then I believe in California, they can actually impound and seize your vehicle for some of these modifications. So take a look at your state laws and see whether or not it's worth it. So the major cons is the check engine light, the smell, which is horrible. I tell you, that should probably be number 1. But also the fact that it's illegal. So guys, think about that, check your laws before doing it. Now the pros to it, guys, it adds horsepower quite a bit. So over a stock setup where the catalytic converter actually restricts the gases actually going through it, which actually reduces the horsepower numbers. This car here was from the factory, 490 horsepower, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Now this vehicle is well over 500 horsepower, and guys, that is a nice increase. So not only are you getting more power, but you're getting an amazing sound. of these cars, and the JDM crowds are famous for doing this, they will cut the catalytic converter and then they will put a cheap Chinese part on the exhaust aspect, and they sound horrendous. But when you have a JDM car that has a catalytic leak and a good exhaust system, it sounds amazing. It sounds beautiful. And the same thing can be said with the Vipers. If they're done right, they're going to sound absolutely amazing. Especially with this vehicle being a 98, it has a 706 cam, so it sounds absolutely amazing. Now you don't have the 706 cam in the 2000 to 2002 models, but anything before that you do. And plus this vehicle doesn't have side exiting exhaust, they're through the rear. So with a Gen 2, with a cat delete, with the boiler system, it is music to my ears. Guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you think a cat delete with the boiler system is the best bang for your dollar modification? Not only does it improve the performance, but it also improves the overall sound. Guys, let me know your opinions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching this video as always. God bless and take care.